United States.
Thank you very much. President Sarnoff, distinguished guests, fellow Americans. I think all of us realize that in these fast-moving times, it is highly important that our nation's capital should be attached to every single citizen in this country by the very fastest, best kind of communications. Decisions of a nation and of a government that at one time could tolerate 3 or 4 weeks of study now demand almost instantaneous reaction. So it is again apparent that unless our citizenry can be informed of the things that happen in the world and are reflected through the eyes of legislative and executive leaders in such a way that they may understand exactly what these things mean, then the United States cannot react as it should. Now, today, as I came through this building, which will itself make these communications better, more rapid, more comprehensive, I was completely overwhelmed by the technical complexities and problems that the broadcasting industry has been solving. I do not know whether the rest of you in this audience have been able to make that same tour, but it is like nothing else so much in my mind as the radar room in a big battleship or some other complex thing that really is entirely beyond my comprehension, but is still capable of exciting my wonderment. So I cannot fail to congratulate, to felicitate the National Broadcasting Company for this particular step in the communication, in developing the communications industry of our country. I felicitate the officials of the company, and I must say I congratulate every citizen whose understanding of this nation, of the world, will be made better and fuller by this development. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It is fitting that we invite a response now from one who is responsible for the concept of network broadcasting. 35 years ago, he spoke at the dedication of WRC, and 4 years later created NBC, giving the nation its first broadcasting network. He has devoted his entire life to nurturing the growth of our industry, serving not only to bring television to fruition, but also to endow his country with a multitude of benefits born of the science of communications. Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the board of RCA, General David Sarnoff.
Mr. President, distinguished guests, fellow workers, ladies and gentlemen, we are highly honored, Mr. President, by your presence here today, and on behalf of my associates as well as myself, I should like to express to you our most sincere thanks and appreciation for taking out of your busy day the time to honor us with your presence. Having had the privilege of serving under you both in war and in peace, I know firsthand how deep is your interest
in all forms of communication. You expressed it very well in the remarks which you have just made. Gratified as we are by your presence here today, we consider it a tribute not alone to our company and to our people, but to the entire art and industry of communications, whose development and whose progress has always, as I know, excited your interest. Perhaps there are some persons in the world who may not be very keen about being seen in their true and natural colors. Some of their pronouncements may on occasion bring a blush even to their own cheeks. And this camera, I assure you, sir, is relentless in its revelations. Happily, however, this is not so in America. Here we fear no revelations. We have nothing to hide. On the contrary, we want everyone in the world to see America in its true and natural colors. We want the people everywhere to see Americans at work and at play, to see our institutions in action, reflecting their ideals and the ideals of our nation, as well as our human imperfections. Here, we do not seek to be anything other than what we are. And what we are is not hidden by curtains, nor what we say screened by censorship. And so, Mr. President, once more I should like to express to you our very deep appreciation of your presence here, and to assure you that we shall continue to do our very best to make what contributions we may or can towards the objectives for which our nation and you and as its leader stand. Objectives that may be very simply stated: the preservation of our freedom and security, and the advancement of the cause of peace and prosperity for all people everywhere. Thank you.